And I hope that you will remember that we are one as I tell this joke. In first service, you know, they're sometimes the litmus test, this wonderfully powerful story, and it got groans. So be kind, be generous. And as you're certainly much brighter than the first service, yes? So it's a little bit hard to get, but I was going to just get rid of the joke, and I thought, no, the whole talk is based upon this joke, so I can't get rid of it. So once upon a time, there was a man, and he was seeking the secret to consciousness, much like we're all doing here. And he was told to go climb the tallest mountain in the village. After climbing for half a day, he came across a sage with a beard out to here and a sword this long. And there was a fly buzzing around his head. And the man asked the sage, "What is the secret to consciousness?" Before anyone could take a breath, the sage unsheathed his sword and he cut the fly in half. Speed and accuracy. "Wow, that's amazing," said the man. "But I'm here looking for the secret to consciousness." And the sage said, "Climb higher." And so he did. So the man climbed the path for the full day, and he met another sage whose beard was out to here, and his sword was this long, and there was a fly buzzing around his head. "What is the secret to consciousness?" he said. Well, before anybody could blink, the sage unsheathed his sword and cut the fly into quarters. "Ha! Speed and accuracy," said the sage. "Wow, that's amazing," the man replied. "But, you know, I'm here looking for the secret to true consciousness." And the sage thought for a moment and said, "Climb higher." And he did. After 2 full days of hiking the path, the man came upon another sage whose beard was down to the floor, and his sword was longer than his arms, and a fly was buzzing around his head. And he asked the man, "What is the true path to consciousness?" Before anyone could think, the sage unsheathed his sword and swiped just once quickly in the air. "Ha! Speed and accuracy," said the sage. "Wow," said the man, "that's not very impressive." "Ah," replied the sage, "think again. That fly will never be a father." Those in the back who are still going, "I don't get it." You know, many students on the path to consciousness, the evolutionary process of becoming, thanks for laughing, you were very kind. They think that speed is the key, and we're rushing through this evolutionary process of becoming to build our consciousness as if it's supposed to happen overnight. I said a meditation, I said a prayer, I went to church once. Why am I not enlightened? But it is not about speed to get to consciousness being in its fullness. In fact, it's an ever-evolving path of step by step by step, very methodical. And in the tortoise and the race, it is absolutely slow and steady, gets to the end result. And when we do that, we will father and mother wonderful ideas expressed on earth. This is week 3 on our series about cultivation. In week 1, we were cultivating commitment, knowing that commitment is the bedrock to every dream, every reality, every vision that's ever come to the face of the earth, and every vision that you will ever see manifest in your life. In week 2, we cultivated consistency. We continued our journey as the step-by-step, methodical, step-by-step process of seeing that vision through our commitment come to the manifest realm and be realized here on earth. Those are 2 very external ideas, 2 very external things and tools that we can use to make life what we want. Today, we're at the halfway point in the series, and we begin to make a journey inward, out of the external realm and into the internal realm by cultivating consciousness. Say that with me. Cultivating consciousness. That's what we do here. One step at a time, we are cultivating a consciousness so that that which exists only in mind can be made manifest out here. But it has to start in mind. So from the realm of consciousness, I'm going to ask us several times today to ask that very spiritual question. That very deep and profound question that centuries and centuries sages have been asking. And that question is, where's the beef? Say it with me. Where's the beef. How many remember that commercial, that lady? Oh my God, I loved her. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Guess what? That's a question that we come and we ask every time we come together. Where's the meat? Where's the juice? Where's the spirit? Where's the goodness that we are wanting to create? The commitment and consistency we've talked about for the first 2 weeks, they are the bones, the skeleton of the lives we are creating. Now we need to put some meat on the bones. And that meat will be consciousness. You see, life, God, you, me, this building, everything you've ever experienced in your life finds its root in consciousness. Everything was created twice, first in mind and then in reality. And so it is an important step to the process of creating heaven on earth. So once again, ask with me, where's? And there's a joke coming, don't worry. Through various stages in our lives, I'm sure by show of hands, you've all come to edge after edge where your understanding of life, your intellect and the wisdom that you've gathered up to that point was not enough to get you to the next plateau, to get you to the next level of being. Those are beautiful places, and some people curse them. They get to the edge and they run from them. It's a dark night of the soul for some people. No, I'm saying it's a juicy place because the beef is about to emerge. That the good, the juice, the meat is about to get on the bones of what you have held in mind, and now you get busy making it happen. But these points are going to continue in our lives as long as we are on an evolutionary path, wanting to grow, wanting to stretch, wanting to become more of what God would have us be. Then we're going to come to those edge and the next one and the next one. Moments where life as we know it doesn't quite work anymore. How many people have ever been there? You're lying. You just maybe you weren't awake. Yes, you are absolutely there. Every moment of your life, every breath, every thought is a moment to be reborn, to be made new through right of your consciousness. Moments where consciousness is longing for a greater expression, where life is longing for greater expression, and God is asking you as the portal and the vessel through which God can have more expression on earth. These moments of spiritual inquiry are essentially important to the evolving path, and they are powerful because they are not only creating new patterns of living out here, they are creating neural pathways in your brain. That which was not possible 10 years ago or even 10 minutes ago becomes possible because you're asking the question together, where's, oh, come on, you can do better than that. Where's the beef? Previously non-existent connections and synapses begin to fire in your brain, and suddenly new visions and new realities pop in there, and new expressions and experience. I call them pathways of possibility. I call them pathways of prosperity. This month has been all about prosperity, and us being a high expectation church for us to live at the highest vibration. And the only way we get to the highest vibration is climb higher. Climb higher. And it is not through speed, but it is through the methodical, consistent commitment of becoming all that we can be. When we ask life for more meat, consciousness will be expanded, and new possibilities in life, internally and externally, will be opened. Think of your consciousness today as a circle. No, not a circle, a spiral, because it's an ever upward process as we're climbing higher. But I would say, I'm going to call it a revolution. The world as we know it today is calling for a revolution in consciousness. Not just us individually, but you look at the world, I think it needs the help of us as students of truth, as students of the Christ and the Buddha, to absolutely have a revolution going on, that we get to that higher capacity. It's a circle that you are involved in, but at a greater degree, it is a circle and a revolution that we, as the essence of God as one, must be involved in. And it's also a vehicle that contains all the information we've ever gotten up to this moment. And it contains all the possibilities that we're grabbing as we become a great tornado of consciousness, grabbing new ideas, new things that we maybe had not thought of before this moment. At Unity North, we like to say we come here to get our questions answered. Have you done that here a little bit? But if we stop there, there is no revolution, there is no evolution. We must also question our answers. We must also confront the ideas of old that got us to where we are, and to know that they may not serve us as we stand on the edge and dive into a new possibility. It might be that we need to ask questions and challenge ourselves what we're thinking. and move to the next level of thought. So I want to examine today some of the revolutions of thought that got us to this moment in time. Some people are still living in these, regardless of their age. They're still living in this endless circle. And I think the world as we see it is in a pattern that needs to be broken up, that needs to be interrupted. And so look at where you are on this path and where you might need a pattern interrupt and where the world might need a pattern interrupt. Revolution number 1, early childhood. We're born onto this plane of existence. And what is the main focus as a child born onto the planet? It's all about what? Me. Say it with me. It's all about me, me, me. I'm in love with me, me, me. There's nothing wrong with that consciousness. It is an evolutionary stepping stone to finding our way on earth. And in this particular stage of development, our parents are God. They are providing all of our needs. They are supplying everything we need. So we look to an external source for all of the realities that we can survive. We depend on them for everything. Consciousness revolves around the mindset, take care of me. Life is all about getting my needs met. It's all about me, me, me. We are completely dependent on external realities in an egocentric society. Now, as kids, that's where we are. I've known some people who walk into churches have the same consciousness that are in that spiral. It's just all about me, me, me. And we hear about God at this stage in our development with songs like, I'm sure you remember it, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. We're the little ones. And what do they teach us at that age? We are weak, but he is strong. Give all the responsibility to Jesus. It's a state of consciousness. Jesus will save me. Jesus will make it okay. Our parents will make it okay. And then we begin to notice that things don't look quite right. We realize that our parents aren't perfect. I hope that's not a shock to some of you. How many remember the moment you realized that your parents weren't perfect? Mine was at the top of a Ferris wheel. I was at a fair with my father, and we were on the Ferris wheel. And you know that moment when it stops at the top, and there's a little bit of a rock up there? And I was so excited, and I go, this is amazing. And I heard from behind me, stop! And I looked up, and Superman was white as a sheet. His knuckles, he had grabbed that bar, he was probably going to bend it, was so incredibly scared, just leaned back. And there was a moment for me, oh my gosh, my father is not Superman. And I began to realize at that same stage in my life, I'd asked my parents questions they didn't have the answers to. And so they made up answers that left my mind that was searching for something different, kind of wanting. Your parents have all the answers. They are perfect. We'll talk after the service. They realize they can't give us everything we need. They don't have the answers to the questions we are asking. And then we begin to see that sometimes bad things happen on the planet. Sometimes there's bad things happening in the world. Does Jesus really love me? And we begin to question. It's not a bad place. That's a good place. And we begin to ask the question together, where's the beef? Where's the meat? This is a natural place of evolution. You know, we look at the great masters, Siddhartha. Siddhartha was in a beautiful kingdom. His needs were all taken care of. He was a wealthy guy. It was all about him. And he looked out the window and said, maybe not where's the beef, maybe where's the tofu? Where's the vegetable? Where's the carrot? There was something that pulled him out of the castle to expand his consciousness and to grow and to learn and to become. The Buddha within us is on a path of looking out the window and going, there's got to be more. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of it. Buddha wasn't satisfied. We need to not be stagnant people on a plateau of spirituality and just quit growing. And so we ask, where's the tofu? And our circle of consciousness slowly and methodically goes to a new level, just as he did as he began his trek towards enlightenment. And consciousness is expanded to revolution number 2. The spiral is beginning to get higher. Revolution 2, where do we look next? Where do we find the circle of consciousness next? Anybody? Friends. teachers, ministers. We go to church for the first time, and a minister, as an authority, we're told is the authority. In this church, I am the authority. Please feed my delusion. We're influenced by what's called the collective consciousness. The consciousness begins to get much bigger than our narrow field of our family. And we're taught about a God who's way more powerful than our parents. Here, once again, we are still receiving outside input for who we are. And we blindly accept this is the truth, this isn't the truth. And we digest it, and we bring it in, and we put it into our consciousness. And we accept conditioning, whether it is true or not. Anybody ever been there? We have race beliefs. You were born into a certain race, and there is a belief system of your race. You were born into a certain culture. There is a collective cultural consciousness that's happening. You were born into a certain country, and there's an American consciousness, if you will. Ask anybody from Britain, China, Japan, they will tell you that they have a consciousness and that we have a consciousness that doesn't always agree. But then there's religious belief consciousness, the collective consciousness of religion. How many remember what you were taught the first time you walked into a church? I remember the moment when my consciousness expanded. Yes, Jesus loves me, but Jesus is going to punish me too if I don't behave in a certain way. I remember that. It's like it got real scary. I remember in Sunday school we heard more about the devil than we did about Jesus. I went to bed at night with my eyes wide open saying the devil was going to come get me. But I bought that religious consciousness, that collective buy-in to what the world was thinking. Most of us during that time were introduced to a God that rewards and punishes, to explain why those bad things are happening. We're introduced to a capricious personality that resembles Santa Claus. Better watch out. Better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Oh my gosh, God's going to come get me. And what happens is that limited and flawed consciousness, although it is a stepping stone to the next level, is a very scary place, and it's as flawed as our relationship with our parents. And we begin to be at the top of the Ferris wheel going, oh my God, this doesn't work anymore. It's scary. And then we begin to ask the question together, where's the beef? Come on, you can do better than that. Where's the beef? Expansion happens. Slowly, step by step, we move up in our revolution to a new place. Revolution 3. Sometimes this is where you make your way into new thought for the first time. This is where we discover the world of manifestation. Manifestation. We begin to realize that we have creative abilities. Our consciousness has expanded, that I don't have to rely on external things anymore. I have the power within me to make the life I want to create. I don't need anybody outside of me to manifest. We can fulfill our own needs, and a shift begins to happen, and we create a magic wand. Anybody ever watch The Secret or What the Bleep? New thought was the entry place into the magic wand. Oh my gosh, I can make cars. I can create parking spaces. I can build that relationship and attract to myself by the law of attraction that beautiful relationship or that new house or that higher bank account. And we find that we are the creators of our own destiny. Powerful as we are, creators of our own reality in manifesting things. Things. Remember that? You felt that? It felt really good for a while. However, many people in New Thought camp out there and the revolution stops. And the circle becomes a benign plateau of just manifesting things. And it eventually leaves us feeling very empty, very unfulfilled, because our spirits have very little use for external toys and distractions. Oh, I need a bigger house. I need a bigger car. I need a blue car. I need one with the leather seats. I need. And it becomes a hungry ghost in a New Thought movement of I need something else outside of me to feel good. I manifested a bigger house, a bigger relationship. And we once again find ourselves realizing that the stuff does not fill the hole within. The stuff on the outside never will fill the hole on the inside, and we end up asking once again, where's the beef? Evolution slowly begins to happen, and we revolve to a higher place. Revolution number 4. This is where many make a move a little bit deeper into the New Thought movement, not just the surface. We begin to understand the idea that I am a child of God. Say that with me. I am a child of God. I am okay, you're okay, we're not worms of the dust. I'm okay with or without the big house. I'm okay with or without the big car and the relationship. I know who I am. I'm okay with all my flaws. And we sing songs that I call the spiritual Barney song. I remember in the Religious Science Church, and I loved the song at the time. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me, nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and powerful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. There's a lot of people on that plateau in New Thought. I'm perfect. I'm good. I'm an expression of God. I'm a magnificent manifestation of God. So I am not only good, I am really good. This is a stop on the evolutionary path. But what happens here is we create spiritual New Thought monsters. You've met them, haven't you? Have you been them? It's not a bad place. It's a place of learning, a place of growth, a place to ask, where's the beef, and maybe get to the next level. We think we've attained the pinnacle of spiritual enlightenment. And then we become another version of the old religion that we taught, where we say, we're just a little smarter than the others. You know, I love the people at the Baptist church, but they're just not quite as enlightened as we are. We think we've attained the pinnacle of spiritual enlightenment. Now, it's true that you are divine. You absolutely are divine spiritually. But let's take a look at your human self and your spiritual self, and they don't always match up. Jesus, as the master teacher, was constantly working. St. Paul, as the incredible demonstration of being fully human and divine, worked at bringing the human into congruity and partnership with the Spirit. We got work to do. And if you think you've got it all figured out, you will become spiritually arrogant. If you think you have all the ideas that God has ever downloaded onto the planet, you have become spiritually arrogant and you're on a plateau and there is no revolution happening. Why don't you get into politics? Because that's where those people tend to live. Where'd that come from? We're still living on a human plane, and there is always going to be room to stretch our consciousness further so that we can bring our human existence a little bit closer to the spiritual reality. Many New Thought people get stuck here, and it's just a more aggressive and dangerous version of Revolution 1. It's all about me. Go forth. We go forth like a great monster into the world as an egotistical representation of what unity is. We are a high expectation church. We've been talking about that. My expectation of you, this church's expectation of me and you, is that we raise the vibration. We end up thinking we have all the answers, and our relationship with God once again becomes as hollow and empty as it was with our parents. And then out of loneliness, because it's a very lonely place, you wonder why nobody's coming around anymore. Well, because you are so enlightened. Your divine essence again is pushing from within, and it begins to want expression. It says, wait a minute, you're missing something. And that divine essence puts the ego in a headlock, and it shakes us up because it can hardly suffer our bloated spiritual arrogance anymore. You know, there was a quote, and I don't know who was it that said it, but I was cursing God for the world falling apart, only to realize that it was God tearing the world apart so that we would pay attention. The drum beats of progress are beating individually and collectively, and we're going around cursing, what's wrong with the world? What's wrong with the world? God's taking us by the shoulders, putting our ego in a headlock and saying, pay attention, I need a revolution. I need a higher vibration. I need you to ask, where's... Good in the front row. The universe is asking us, where's the beef? Where's the nutrition? Where's the juice? Where's the next iteration of growth? Stop camping out on the plateau and move. Revolution number 5. The beef now comes in the realization of oneness, and we become servants of a higher consciousness for the entire world. I'm going to invite Sam and Lucy to come back up and get a little music behind here. Yes, you are special. Yes, you are just like everyone else. We begin to understand that our personality and our humanness might have some work to do in order to catch up. But what I realize in this evolution, in this revolution, is your good is my good is your good. There is no private good. And that we're all buying into the collective vibration. We're doing it together, hand in hand, heart to heart, spirit to spirit. We're moving to the next level. We're moving to where God would have us be and where we may have forgotten. And what I think is funny about these revolutions, you're one thought away from being back at square one. You're one thought away from making your job your source. You're one thought around making your minister the source. Or making the person to your left or your right your source. Bam, you're one thought away from heaven or hell. You're one thought away from creating a sense of duality between you and them. Us and them. Might as well go back to infancy, because that's where we've gone spiritually, is to infancy. Just play a little. This is what St. Paul had to say. And this is what I believe is the call for us as a human race. Let's read this together. I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit. We are better when we are one. That's not just a simple idea to entertain your mind on a Sunday morning and then you go off into your world and go down the revolution process back into hell. It is the apex of where we are heading, and then you're going to get a call this week. How can I live at a higher vibration of oneness? How can I turn the news on and live at a higher vibration of peace? How can I be at 285 as Joel Blackford, by the way, and it's his birthday today. Will you please wish him a happy, happy birthday? And one thing I know about Joel Blackford at 87 years old, is that right? 87 years old, he's still evolving, and he's still asking, where's the beef? He's still asking, what is mine to do? Where is the next level of growth? You see, this growth process, climb higher. We are called to climb higher, to not give our power to weight to the news, to the person, to the traffic, to anything outside of ourselves. It has no power. Take the power back as one. Climb higher. And then, yes, you will father and mother new realities, not just for yourself, but for the entire world. Your good is my good. My good is your good. And keep asking, where's the beef? Where's the nutrition? Where's the juice? Where's the juice? Because if you're not growing, life is forever in motion. You're going the other direction. Keep stretching your consciousness. Be a part of the revolution that's not just changing this church or these individuals, but it is a necessary changing of the world. So yes, I am calling for evolution. I'm calling for resolution, and I'm calling each of us to be part of a revolution as we take the human race to the next level. Let's all climb higher and find out what God would do through us and as us. Yes?